is recognized for 60 minutes as the designee of the majority leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate it very much. I ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks and include extraneous material on the subject of the special order.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to commend the gentlelady from Virginia. Well said this evening. I appreciate your words, your kind words. Mr. Speaker, I rise today not only as co-chair of the Congressional Caucuses of International Religious Freedom and Hellenic Issues, but more importantly, as an Orthodox Christian. I'm here to honor and welcome His All Holiness Bartholomew, Archbishop of Constantinople, New Rome, and Ecumenical Patriarch, who is visiting the United States this week. This visit is a huge blessing for the Orthodox family in the United States, Mr. Speaker. Not only is His All Holiness a great spiritual leader, but he is also an unparalleled ambassador of peace, interfaith dialogue, and religious freedom. As we honor him today for a lifetime of achievements, Mr. Speaker, I think of his legacy in 3 words: faith, peace, and endurance. First, faith. His All Holiness has led millions of the faithful in the global Orthodox Church for more than 34 years, conscientiously carrying the legacy of St. Andrew, the Apostle, and upholding the 2,000-year-old traditions of the Ecumenical Patriarchate of Constantinople, the Holy See for over 300 million Orthodox faithful worldwide. His leadership of the Eastern Orthodox community has impacted and will continue to impact this ancient church and doctrine for centuries to come. But his role extends far beyond the Orthodox Church, which brings me to the second point: peace. Throughout his selfless service, Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew has been at the forefront of interreligious dialogue, setting the stage for a more peaceful and cohesive world. He has a record of reaching out and working for peace and reconciliation amongst all faiths, and has fostered dialogue among Christians, Jews, and Muslims. Just last month, Mr. Speaker, he hosted the annual Religions of Peace World Council, bringing together leaders of diverse faiths to address global challenges. His All Holiness's leadership in these groundbreaking conventions has not only been about theology, but to engage faith with humanity's most pressing challenges. From his historic visit to the Korean demilitarized zone in 2018 to his current efforts promoting coexistence in the Middle East, His All Holiness's pursuit of global peace in the world's most challenging conflicts has truly touched the lives and hearts of millions. In fact, Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew received on his first official visit to the United States in 1997 the Congressional Gold Medal, sponsored by my father, Congressman Michael Bilirakis, and many, many others. It was presented by the United States on behalf of the Congress in recognition of his outstanding and enduring contributions to religious understanding and peace, and was recognized by the United States and in a reserve for a very small number, as you know, Mr. Speaker, of world leaders, such as George Washington, Winston Churchill, and Pope John Paul II. Most dear to my heart, however, is his life of enduring advocacy for his persecuted church, as well as other oppressed religious minorities. Recently, when the Egyptian government confiscated the holy St. Catherine's Monastery in Sinai, Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew stood as a defender of Christian heritage. This monastery is not just a Greek Orthodox treasure, but an ancient house to Christianity's most valued heritage, including the sacred tree, the burning bush, where our God revealed himself to Moses. For months now, Mr. Speaker, His All Holiness has led a global movement demanding that the Egyptian government honor this heritage and protect the autonomy of the monastic community in Sinai. For those of us in Congress who have worked to preserve the monastery's independence and existence, his advocacy is a source of inspiration. His All Holiness' mission to protect the Christian community and its heritage in Turkey is just another example of his noble pursuit. In the last 100 years, the Turkish state has systemically exploited its Christian communities, unfortunately, reducing them from 20% of the population to a mere 2%. To this day, the Turkish government refuses to recognize His All Holiness ecumenical jurisdiction, stripping him of the universal title that is acknowledged by more than 300 million faithful across the globe. Mr. Speaker, His All Holiness has endured in silence discrimination under Erdogan's regime. This body must insist that Turkey eliminates all forms of discrimination, particularly discrimination based on race or religion, grants the Ecumenical Patriarchate appropriate international recognition and ecclesiastic succession, grants the Ecumenical Patriarchate the right to train clergy of all nationalities, not just Turkish nationals, by reopening the famed and beautiful theological school Al-Halki, which I visited in 2019 with my beautiful wife. And Turkey must absolutely reopen the jewel of Christendom, the Hagia Sophia, Church of the Holy Wisdom of God, as a church, not a mosque, as a church. The Hagia Sophia was the world's largest cathedral for nearly 1,000 years. It served as a center for all Christians until the Ottoman invasion in 1453, which saw the collapse of Constantinople as well as the church. For decades, it has been converted to a museum and has been a UNESCO heritage site until Erdogan illegally converted it into a mosque 5 years ago. I could go on and on, Mr. Speaker, about the persecution His All Holiness and the Ecumenical Patriarchate has faced under Erdogan's rule. It is maddening, as far as I'm concerned, maddening. But Ankara's violation go far beyond just Christian communities. Just over the summer, Mr. Speaker, the government authorities in Istanbul arrested 41 Muslim women, including 15 minor girls, solely based on their religious expression. As the Turkish government converts ancient churches to mosques, intimidates clergy, and displaces religious and ethnic minorities, His All Holiness has continued to peacefully advocate for the voiceless, which is why I take this occasion to call on the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom to designate Turkey as a country of particular concern under U.S. law. It is incumbent upon us to recognize His All Holiness as a living testament for Turkey's explicit mission to erase its native Christian community and to respond to such cynical plans with the seriousness they deserve. As we honor His all-holiness today, let us not only celebrate His faithfulness and mission of peace, but commit ourselves to defending the rights of His church and the protection of all persecuted religious minorities. The timing of the Ecumenical Patriarch's visit could not be more ideal as America is grieving the loss of a true warrior of God, Charlie Kirk, who through his death has shown all of us that we must be defenders of our faith even if it puts us in danger. Again, I'm going to say it again. We must be defenders of our faith, even if it puts us in danger. We have to be a voice for the voiceless. We must be convicted and stay the course so that our faith is not extinguished by bad actors. And so, to honor both His all-holiness and America's martyr, Charlie Kirk, is to take up their cause, the cause of religious freedom, the cause of peaceful coexistence, the cause standing up for those who oppress others. I wish my friend and my spiritual father, Ecumenical Patriarch, a safe and fruitful visit as he inspires not only the Orthodox faithful, but all who love peace, understanding, and humanity. May God bless His all-holiness, our Patriarchate in Constantinople, now in Istanbul, our beautiful 2,000-year-old faith and Orthodox Church, and may God bless the United States of America. I also want to say that my Archbishop Yakovos stood with Martin Luther King and marched at Selma. He was called by Martin Luther King. This was obviously during the time, and it's depicted in the movie, Mr. Speaker, Selma. He was called by Martin Luther King. He showed up for the march. Martin Luther King apparently told him, "Wow, I'm surprised," something to that effect. And he said his final words were before the march, "You called and I came." We must stand up. We must stand up to racism. We must stand up to any form of discrimination, in this case, religious freedom. So, folks, I appreciate all of you. I know there are others that will speak at a later time, but I want to welcome this wonderful, wonderful individual who visited the White House today with President Trump. Just an outstanding person and a wonderful role model for all of us. So thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. God bless you. God bless America. Thank you.